Hello friends, welcome to our video that is abstraction and encapsulation in C Sharp and myself Bishop Sood. So I will go through this video and will uh, provide you a small presentation regarding these topics, and in this while discussing this we will also go through the Visual Studio Code to have the basic understanding of what is abstraction and encapsulation in C Sharp. And abstraction and encapsulation in C Sharp doesn't mean that it is different for any another language. These are the OOPS concept and these are same for all the programming language, and one must have the basic knowledge of abstraction and encapsulation in any language. So we will go through in C Sharp. So we will go through this. So let me start the PPT. So introduction is, in this video we will go through OOPS concept of abstraction and encapsulation. So first question arises, why do we need encapsulation? The encapsulation is to protect or prevent the code from accidental corruption due to the silly little errors. Means that developer can have the rights to save the important code from the silly developers. Means every developer doesn't have the actual code, because if the developer who is creating the class will make some of the members as a private, then that means that only that developer or the user of the basic class can use these variables. So what is the benefit of encapsulation? Encapsulation just provides the protection to the data. It provides that data cannot be corrupted by another developers, and encapsulation is also called as the wrapping of the data or the code in a single unit. So how encapsulation is provided? Encapsulation is provided in the form of public as well as private are the security for the security concern, so same applies for the code. Second definition we can define as, encapsulation provides a way to protect data from accidental corruption. Rather than defining the data in the form of public, we can declare those fields as a private, right? So encapsulation is the wrapping of your code in the form of class properties. So we will go through for the properties. Encapsulation using properties. Properties are a new language features introduced in C Sharp. Only a few languages support this property. Properties in C Sharp helps in protect a field in a class by reading and writing to it. The first method itself is good, but encapsulation can be accomplished much smoother with properties. Properties are just like a variables, but we can provide security to the code by using the properties. Like we can have a read only properties, we can have a write only properties, and variables we don't have any such features. So we will go through encapsulation. So here is the sample code. You can see here. In the meantime, we can also go on through the Visual Studio Code. Here I made. So what this code is doing, we have one class department. We can have a private property in this class, that is department, right? And we have the one property that is department, and it is getting the variable name, return department name, also setting the department name is equal to value. That means we can set the data, we can read the data from the properties. And in the main function, because it is a console application, so you can see we can have a main function, and in this main function sorry, department D is equal to new department, and department communication we can setting the data of the property here, and console dot write line and we are printing the data. So if I am changing this Bishop Sood, so now the department will be the Bishop Sood, and if I run this, so you can see department name is Bishop Sood. So you can see here we are just wrapping the data in a class, right? And how these properties are being set or read can be defined in this properties inside the class, and we can have the only the choice to put the value here. We can't modify the code in the properties because this class is not available for the generic users, right? So this is the general definition for encapsulation. Now we have two types of properties, read only and write only. Read only, we can define only the read only properties, right? And we can have the write, we can only write to the variables. So if I go through this uh, excuse me, if I go from this let me do the escape. So we have the sample code here in the notepad. Yep, here. So I have just copied the code in order to save the time. So we have the read only property here. So what we are doing, we are just making a class. I will just copy paste and I will show you how it's working. So I'm just copying paste the data, and in this main program I'm making the object of this data. So let me make the object of this read only data here, right? So let me do the console.read line, right? So what I'm doing here, since I'm just showing it is a read only properties, so let me put the comments here. Read only properties. So what we are doing here, we have the read department where we are reading the department. We have one constructor of this class that is read dependent, and it is taking the value and is setting the name of department name to the from the value that we are passing to the constructor, right? And here we are just getting, you can see it is a get SSA, so we are just getting the department name. So what in the main program we are just making the object, we are just passing the department name here, and in program is just printing the name. So if I make it maths department, so if I'm saving this, so it will print just the math department here, you can see. So this is the definition of read only properties, same as the write only properties. Then read only properties, if read get accessor is provided, we can set the value of a variable or property in main program. We can only read the variable, so that is protecting the data from the being modified, right? We are just providing the data and we are just reading the data from the read only properties. Write only properties, same as we are writing the properties and we are providing the data. So friends, here we have gone through what is encapsulation. Encapsulation is just wrapping the data. It provides the protection to the data, like private, public are the keys to provide the encapsulation. Encapsulation can be in C#, encapsulation can be provided using properties. We have get properties, we have set properties, right? So what is abstraction in C#? Now the next term comes as abstraction. Abstraction is selecting data from a larger pool to show only the relevant details of the object. Suppose I am a developer, you are a developer, and you have the definition of calculator programming. But there are some functions that you don't want to expose to the another developer that are using your class. So abstraction is the way to protect your data. It helps to reduce programming complexity and efforts. In C#, abstraction is accomplished using abstract classes and interfaces. It is one of the most important concept of OOPS. So what are abstract base classes? So we will go through the point and point. An abstract base class cannot be instantiated. It means the object of that class cannot be created. We can't make the object of an abstract class. Class having the abstract keyword with some of its method is known as abstract base class. So we have the abstract keyword, right? And when we are providing the abstract keyword to any class and we have the abstract methods, that means that the class becomes abstract base class, and it acts as a base class only. Class having the abstract keyword with all its methods is known as pure abstract class. So what this statement means: if you have the abstract class and all the members of that class are abstracts, that means that class is called pure abstract base class. The method of the abstract class that has no implementation is known as operation. It can be defined as an abstract void method. An abstract class holds the methods, but the actual implementation of those method is made in the derived class. So as we have said, abstract base class is always act as a base class. We can't write the actual code here. It serves as a base class, and if we are defining, if we are implementing this base class, right, then we have the actual implementation in the derived class or that base class. So if we will, I will talk about this example. So in this example, you can see we have the abstract class animal, right? Here we have the one abstract method, eat, and we have non-abstract method as a sound. So this animal class is being implemented in the class dog. That means animal is dog is the subset of animal, right? And since we have made this animal eat method as an abstract, then we have to implement, if and we are implementing this animal in our dog class, that means we have to override this eat method here, and we are just writing the, as I have said, if any class is implementing the abstract methods, that means in derived class this method should be overridden, right? So we have the animal class. This is the basic implementation. Dog can sound, dog can eat, everything can be done. So abstractions are can be defined as the hiding the important data from the end user or the developer that are using your class. So now the question comes, what is the actual difference between abstraction and encapsulation? Abstraction can be defined as it is the process of identifying the common essential characteristics for a set of objects. One might say that abstraction is the process of generalization. All objects under consideration are included in a superset of objects. So what is abstraction is? So in the previous example, we have seen that we have the animal class. So animal, what are the properties and methods of animal? Animal can eat, animal can sound, animal can sleep. So these are the general methods, right? And every animal possess these uh, properties. So there are two ways. If we have the animal, dog, cat, cow, there are two ways you can implement the different methods. Means so if we have to provide the characteristics of these animals, then these animals will possess the characteristics of general animals, right? They can eat, they can sound, they can sleep. So if we are making animal class and we are providing some abstract method there, means sleep, sound, eat, and whenever we have new animal, we can just implement that base class animal, and by implementing that base class animal, we can implement all the methods that we have defined in the abstract class, or we need to implement this base class. So it also, abstraction also provides the provides and stress the developer to implement all the methods that these abstract or interface provides. So I can provide the general introduction of in C sharp. We have disposable interface is there. So disposable interface just provides the methods that uh, freeze the memory forcefully from C sharp compiler or C sharp memory or OS memory. So there are two methods, dispose and finalize, right, defined in these interface. So what that means, that if any user is implementing disposable interface, that means they have to implement these common methods, otherwise it implementation will be wrong. They can later they can uh, get the errors. So this is abstraction. Abstraction is just a generalization of the data. What is encapsulation? Encapsulation is the process of enclosing data and functions manipulating this data into a single unit so that to hide the internal implementation from the outside world. So how we are achieving that? We are achieving encapsulation using classes, private, public access modifiers. We are achieving encapsulation using properties. All other methods are way of encapsulations. So friends, today we have gone through what is abstraction, what is encapsulation. Remember, these are the basic backbones of OOPS programming. Encapsulation is the generalization of the data. It is the implementation of the common data using abstract classes or interfaces. And encapsulation is just wrapping the data into a single unit and to hide the data or to make a package of the your code so that they can be avoided from the silly errors in the future. So I hope you like this video. You can see we have the channel Vishab Sood here. We have posted another videos there. You can subscribe this channel. You can put your comments. You can like this video. You can share this video. And if you have any questions or any specific concept or topic you want to learn, or you have some suggestions, you can go through this channel, and your suggestions are always welcome. Thank you very much.